In this video, I built 9 essential AI agent design patterns, so you can build any AI agent system. To reflect real-world complexity, I use an accounting and tax project. We code single agent using structured output and memory, then self-critic and parallel, and finally a full accounting multi-agent system. For the tools we use Google ADK, Pydantic AI, and Docling. I'm Maryam, PhD with 20 plus years in AI, teaching thousands to build AI agents in 90 plus countries. Let's build the first one. We are in Google Antigravity, install the packages that we need, Google ADK, Pydantic AI, and Docling. We're going to need our Google API from our environmental document. From Google ADK agents, we are going to use different types of agents. In Google ADK, you have LlmAgents, which are like for just core reasoning. You need thinking, you're just calling the tools. Then you have sequential, so you just run sub agents one after another. Parallel just runs each of them at the same time. Then you will have LoopAgent, you will repeat until they exit for some kind of condition. You can have even custom agents which are like arbitrary Python or orchestration. For all our 9 patterns, we are going to have just a runner for our agent, and we give an app name and session service. So the first pattern is tool use. The first agent that we are going to build is this single agent, which is an invoice extractor. Give it 3 tools. Parse the invoice with Docling, calculate total of tax, and calculate VAT. We use then this calculation to verify it with our invoice. And if there is a mismatch, we're going to flag it. Why PDF? Enterprise data is about 90% in the dark data, so it's PDF and scanned documents. So if you want to build AI agents that are useful for enterprises, you're going to need to parse the documents. So here I have a parse PDF. I'm going to use Docling, document converter. Then we convert the document. Then we use the converter to convert that PDF. This is the invoice. It's in Dutch. We have a number of items and VAT and a total. Next to our PDF parser, we have a calculate VAT, use a VAT rate. We also have a calculate total. And now we are building our agent, which is an LlmAgent. The first one I explained, there is a name. You're going to use a simple model from Gemini, so not the last Gemini 3 Pro, because we are not doing that much. Description, and then instruction, an accounting assistant specialized in invoice processing, call parse, identify it, call and calculate VAT and total, flag, and then the 3 tools we mentioned. If we run it, we get VAT breakdown, gross total, and after calculation, it just sees about 1 cent difference. Let's go to pattern 2. The second pattern is ReAct. By the way, I have a gift for you. I made 1 module of my AI Agent Mastery for free. It teaches you how to build AI agents from 0 to hero, a deep dive, plus 2 free guides, AI agents best practices, and how to build production AI agents. It can really give you a kickstart. It's the first link in the description. Or you can join my AI Agent Mastery and build 12 end-to-end AI agent projects, plus everything about enterprise and advanced agents. Hope to see you there. It's the second link in the description. Pattern 2 is ReAct, reasoning plus acting loop. And the way it works is just it thinks, then it will act, and it will observe. I would again say, is it enough? Then think, act, and observe again until it is done. So we're going to build a tax code researcher. We will ask a question. We will do this iterative research. We'll actually look at this tax regulation. We'll check some deadlines. So it's not going to guess every time. It's going to verify for us an answer. We are going to use LlmAgents in an iteration. In the code, we have some search in the tax regulation. I've made some mock regulation for Dutch, German, and EU. VAT of SAS cross-border corporate tax and SAS and reverse charge. These are just Python's functions that we can use as a tool. Check tax deadline. And now we're going to make a ReAct agent. And the way that we do is we are using tools as a functional tools. Again, name, model, description, and instruction, and an LM. Follow the ReAct loop, think, act, observe, and repeat. And if I run it, and I will ask was the VAT for SaaS from the Netherlands sold to Germany. It will observe, it will answer, and this is a correct answer, 0% for VAT when you are a business to business. We're going to go to pattern 3. Now we are in the third pattern, a structured output. So we're going to give raw financial information. The LlmAgent will create this output schema. We check if it is a JSON, use a Pydantic object to return it. From a business perspective, it's a financial report generator. We collect and verify, we compute and finalize it, and we will show this report that has been verified and should be a validated flag. As you can see in the code that we are using these classes of structured data that we define, so the profit and loss and the line item. Then we create our agent, the model description, and the instruction is to analyze the information, add the notes, and return only the structured schema. But we are not going to lean only on our LLM. We are giving the output schema. This part is going to give us information. I will give this raw financial information and run it. As you can see, it will create a JSON. And to show it, I just change it to a Python data frame. As you can see, it has been returned as a structured data. So up to now, we have used some tools on a single agent. We added reasoning and act loop, a structured output. And now we're going to use memory. That's so important for real world projects, that to remember actually the history of what you're doing. This is our pattern 4, the Memory-Augmented agent. So what we do is we feed client query, and then the agent will take a look at the short memory, will actually add it to long memory, but always personalize the response based on the long term. So this is a client account agent, Memory-Augmented. We'll look at actually things like VAT number, the last filings, get a client history, we'll persist it in a database. Any notes will get back to that as well. The combination of information and the history will give us actually the result. We're going to build it again as a LlmAgent. This is our last single agent. So they get client history. We have a mockup DB, which will get the client ID. Also, we will save client notes. And now we have our client account agent, name, model description, instruction. We will have call get client history, use the history to personalize it, give a complete direct answer. The most important thing here is that we have the tools, but also this output key, which will give that client context. If we run, and we ask, what are my outstanding VAT filings and R&D credits? I can claim for 2024. We will just go to the history, to the different quarters. We will answer based on that, and even ask about the year before. So now we go to layer 2, where we compound all of those agents and we combine them to multiple agents. This is going to be pattern 5 to now. The first multi-agent, the pattern 5, is reflection or self-critic. So what we are going to do is get the financial data. We will have an actor and a critic, because that's actually how the reflection or self-critic works. The first one will say something, and the second one read it again, and if there is an issue, we'll get back. Otherwise, it will be approved. Tax return validator, working in a loop with as an input of financial data. Every time that review, and you can say the approved. We are going to use LoopAgent for this one. So multiple agents. For the tax return critic, you will have another LlmAgent. The first one will say draft, second one will review, first one will have a corporate tax return, a second one will be the tax auditor, and first one will say draft these things, second one will say check for all of these problems. This one is the output key is a tax return draft, and this one is a critic verdict. Now we build a tax return validator with a LoopAgent, 2 sub-agents, tax return actor and tax return critic. And if I run it, I will ask validate and define this corporate tax return on Miradi Tech. We give those raw financials. It will check. We'll go to the review round 1, found an issue, new information was given, and the second round, it's approved. You can imagine that in the real world, this saves so much troubles. We already have the first one, the reflection. We're going to go to the next one, which is plan and execute. So what we do here, we ask an audit request. We have a planner. We will collect, reconcile, and flag the risk. I will get back to the audit when it's ready. So this is an audit preparation agent. And this agent will basically first plan what kind of things needs to be done, do things like document collector, account reconciler, and a report. So first one is an audit planner who plan document collection, account. We give the output key. This is our memory. Then we have document collector. The next one, also an LlmAgent, will just collect the document, use that previous one, the audit plan. This is our handover. Then account reconciler. We'll take a look at reconcile accounts and flag. These are flags. Then we'll look at these previous one, the output key, collected document. This is our context has been passed again. And then we have our report, which is now we can use all of that in an executor. So this is our LlmAgent. And the third one is executor. Again, another LlmAgent. We will get that report and will be an auditor and format your response in a markdown. And finally, we give those risk flags. To put them all together as an audit preparation agent, we use SequentialAgent. And sub-agents are audit planner, document collector, account reconciler, and risk flagger. So we have 4 different agents. And if we run it, we will have first the audit planner. We just give, this is audit preparation, all of the information. Then we will have document collector. We'll say based on the audit plan, this is the list of the things that you need to have. Complete general ledger or bank statement. Then the account reconciler. Here's reconciliation for Miradi Tech BFA. I will give all of the points. Finally, the risk flagger will give the 3 audit risks with revenue recognition, account receivable, and the bank reconciliation in error. So we have created basically a very sophisticated multi-agent system. So the next one is a router or dispatcher. So after reflection and plan and execute, we're going to have a router which classifies incoming intent and would delegate it to the right specialist. So if we have VAT questions, different question, payroll or corporate one, the router will send it to the right specialist. So we'll have a tax query router. So it's all about delegation routing here, and all of them will give their specialized answer. The perfect thing about this is that it's really scalable. You can just add a new specialist every time you need it. So the LlmAgent VAT specialist will answer the VAT questions. The tax specialist will answer the corporate tax question. And then we have a payroll one, answer the payroll questions. Then we bring all of that. We say in the instruction, step 1, classify the question, what kind of question it is, route it to the right specialist, delegate it to exactly to one specialist, explain all of the 3 specialists. And step 3, return a full answer after routing block. So if I run that, and I will ask about VAT of a UK post-Brexit, when I'm living in AU, will say that you need to be a VAT registered in UK. Then we got pattern 8, parallel research. So if you have a tax question, you could use different countries, specialists, like a Dutch rules, German, UK, and a synthesizer will bring everything together. We call it multi-jurisdiction. All of these countries, session state, then we synthesize it, and we save time. We get finally what from the synthesizer, all of the treaty implications. So the first one is an NL tax one, a Dutch. The output key is the rules. Second one is the one from Germany. The output key is German's tax rules. Same for UK. And remember, these are our memories. Then we use a parallel one and give all the 3 of them as 3 researchers. Then we build a synthesizer just as an LlmAgent. We'll get all of those memories that we have given, the output keys. We'll receive them and we'll write a structured recommendation. And now we can build a SequentialAgent from the parallel researcher and the synthesizer. If I run that, I need to make the markdown a little bit more specific for this one. And my question would be compare corporate tax and rates and R&D of Netherlands, Germany, UK for a SaaS company who will start with the Netherlands, Germany, and UK. Then we'll synthesize all of that. We'll give all of the summaries. And finally, a clear recommendation of everything that has been combined and what is actually a significant potential benefit. Now we can go to the most important one, pattern 9, Orchestrator-Worker. So we have had all of this, and now we are in the most complete production pattern, basically. Workers runs in parallel, each handling one domain, and a consolidator read all the outputs and assemble to one. As you've seen, all of these pieces were like kind of Lego pieces up to now. We always combine them and just stack them. And that makes actually these essential patterns an endless solution to any kind of multi-agent system that you want to build, especially in real world when the complexity can get bigger and bigger. But at the end of the day, there are just a few agents that you just stack. So for pattern 9, we will have the client file, we'll have invoice, tax, and report, and we'll all consolidate it together. You have this full accounting pipeline. You have the parallel workers, you have the session states, and you can have these final consolidation. And let me show you how to do that. So I have an invoice worker, LlmAgent, will give me the invoice summary. Do you remember we have extracted it from our PDF? Then it has the output key invoice summary. Then we have the tax summary from the tax research worker. And that tax research worker can then include a lot of other multi-agents before that. But then we get the summary. Then we get generation worker or report generator. We get the PL summary. And then we will put them all at parallel, just invoice worker, tax creator, and reporter. Get all of that, then we got the LlmAgent at the end, and it just basically summarize and bring everything and create a unified client-ready report. As I said, it's just stacking up what you have. And then that's a sequential agent from the sub-agents, parallel, and final consolidator. And I will give it the client package, and that could be also a CSV, something from your database, any kind of data that you get. And if I run it, first parallel workers, the invoice worker, the invoice summary, we just pick up the summary from that PDF we have given. Then we got tax research worker. We just look at all of the VAT, BTW is VAT in Dutch, and then current rate, report generation, we create this whole report, and the final consolidator, we just unify that to a report, because in real world we want actually a summary of everything all together. We have a PL snapshot, and this is actually the action items and risk. Obtain the invoice, confirm tax, and monitor expenses. And these are all of the patterns the tool use: ReAct, structured, Memory-Augmented, reflection, plan and execute, router, parallel research, and Orchestrator-Worker. And exactly how to implement them in Google ADK. Now that you know all of the essential AA agent patterns, you can even build model context protocol, explainability, or validation. I've built all of that for a legal AA system end-to-end, everything with Google ADK. If you want to stand out as an AA engineer, watch that video. I see you there.